Welcome back to Tailosive Tech. I'm going to try to be as concise as possible. If you're curious what happened with today's Apple event, I will now fill you in. It's basically all about one product, the iPad. Last year in March of 2017, we got a budget iPad at $330. This year, we now have the updated version of that iPad that has the support for the Apple Pencil. For education, for teachers, it is now $300 instead of $330. For consumers, it is still $330. It comes in a new blush gold color, and it is equipped with the iPhone 7's A10 Fusion chip. One upgrade from last year's budget iPad, which was the A9. It does not have a smart connector, it does not have 4 speakers, it does not have a laminated display, it still has the fingerprint reader. Cameras are the same, display is the same, other than the fact that it supports the Apple Pencil now. There were some new watch bands and cases unveiled in different colors. You can now actually buy the iMac Pro's Space Gray Magic Trackpad, Magic Keyboard, and Magic Mouse separately. They do cost more than the typical silver versions, but now you can buy them without spending $5,000. And basically a ton of the stuff everyone kept saying was going to happen at this event did not happen. The iPhone SE 2, the gold iPhone 10, cheaper MacBooks, redesigned MacBooks. All of that stuff so many people were anticipating so much is not happening. The reason Apple did not publish this live stream to the public, the reason you couldn't watch it live, is because they didn't have much to talk about. They weren't trying to hype this up very much, that's why they didn't put it on their website. It was an invite-only press event, and it was really just about education. It was really just about this iPad. They briefly talked about the Logitech Crayon, which is a $49 stylus that I guess they recommend, but we don't see it on the Apple Store website. Regardless of that, there's no AirPower, there's no wireless charging AirPods. This was really just about a new budget iPad. You really weren't supposed to get really hyped up for this being a major event. This probably should have done via website refresh. If you ask me, we've had website refreshes that were more substantial than this, so I don't know why they had to make an event about it, because it made everyone think that this was going to be a bigger deal than it actually was. March events have a history of not being very substantial when you think about it. Last year, there wasn't a March event at all. In the year before that, all they talked about was the new 9.7-inch iPad Pro and the iPhone SE. That was the entire event. It took place in an hour. So now we have a history of knowing that March events are usually not that exciting, not much happens, so keep that in mind going forward into 2019. In March, not much changes. This was not meant to be a new iPad Pro refresh. This was just supposed to be about new creative tools in apps for students and teachers. For instance, now for educational users, you get 200 gigs of iCloud storage for free instead of the typical consumer $3 a month plan. They introduced some new apps for developers to use for classrooms, for teachers to have more hands-on learning. Overall though, if we are just putting aside all of the expectations so many of you had and so many of you were expecting, I do think this is a pretty good deal. The new iPad comes in this really good looking blush gold color, and at $330 for everyday consumers, you're getting a pretty powerful CPU, access to a very good stylus, and an overall reliable iPad experience. It's going to satisfy people who purchase it. The iPad Mini 4 is still here. It's not been discontinued. Shockingly, I don't know why it's still here, but same goes for the MacBook Air. No price reduction, no redesign, no discontinuation. Everything is basically still there. And once again, no word on AirPower or AirPods. That was the big letdown for me, but why get my hopes up? Because this event was about education. Why would it be about AirPower? I don't know. I still would have liked to see it, but I think if Apple didn't have an event and they just did a website refresh, probably a lot of us would not feel as disappointed right now. If you're in the market for a budget iPad, I hope you enjoy that one. I think it's a good buy. I don't really see the need for me to review it because I have an iPad Pro already. It supports the Apple Pencil. If I were to buy one, there's not much I could say on it that would be very interesting. That basically wraps it up for this keynote. I'm sorry if you wanted more, but as I mentioned before, all of that hype that you guys built up, that's kind of on you. Apple wasn't trying to hype this up that much. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the new 2018 iPad, as it's going to be called, down in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.